Hi. In this video, I'm going to show the new items added to version 1.12 of Flightplan Visualizer. The first part of the video, I'll show all the minor things added. The second part, I will show the new redirection report and how you can edit the redirections based on that report. And in part 3, I will show how to reprocess all flight plans according to those redirections. From version 12, Flightplan Visualizer will automatically look for updates for the program. Of course, you will not be able to see this function in use before version 1.13 will be released. If you don't want it to automatically look for these updates, you can go into Settings. And here you have this checkbox where you can disable it. It will only check one time every 24 hours. It will do that when you start the program. It will check the last time it checked for a version update, and if it's more than 24 hours ago, it will do a automatic check, and it will inform you if a version is available. And if that's the case, it will also give you the download link for that version. It's still a manual process to load that new version, but at least you will be automatically notified about it. Also, version 1.12 come with a lot of military aircraft. I guess most of us don't have use for those, so therefore they are excluded by default. But removing this checkmark, you can enable them. Another new feature in this program is we have added a new provider. So for those of you using FS Global Real Weather, you can import the meta information from that program. And to use this feature, you have to select it, and you have to enter the path for where FS Global Real Weather is generating its weather file. And also in this version, you can specify the path where Make Runway puts its files. I have chosen the default folder because it's where I have put my version of Make Runways. And you still have to run Make Runways as explained in a previous video, but at least you don't have to copy the 3 files when Make Runways finish generating its files. So it's one less step to perform. If you don't specify this path, or you specify a path to a folder that does not exist, or a folder that does not contain those 3 files, it will fall back and use the user data folder that it used in the past. But at least now you can specify it. So these are the changes to the settings form. If we go to the menu item for choosing our favorite aircraft, I've added 2 new columns. For each aircraft, you can see the runway requirements and you can see the gate requirements. This is because you sometimes perhaps you will use these data in relation with the redirections. If you don't know the ICAO code, you don't know which aircraft it is, you can find it in this form. And for the same reason, you can show a report. It's the same things, just as a text, and you can copy it to clipboard to have these data available outside the program if you need. Here we have Danish air transport. Let's quickly use the leg search feature. I reset the form. Choose Denmark. And I choose the region Europe. I select none and I scroll down and choose all the 737-800s. And I perform the search. And here I have all the flights that match that search. And I can manually look through them and pick one. But as a new feature, we can use the randomizer. We have a new one called Pick Random Flight. And it will pick one of the flights that's currently in in our active flight plan or our active search. So I simply press this button, and I will see all the details from this flight. In case I don't like it, I want to fly something else, I can, with my one hand on the mouse and the other one on the escape button, I can quickly revert back to this screen and press again to see a random flight. Again, it's a flight randomly picked from the active flights. In case I want to fly this flight plan, as a new feature, I can transfer the data into SimBrief. Once I click, I will see all the data have been transferred here. The airline, flight number, the departure and arrival airport. The alternate is picked automatically by SimBrief. The date is not touched, but the departure time is also from Flightplan Visualizer. The aircraft type and the registration of the airplane also. And the taxi in time and taxi out time. And the schedule time and route is also from Flightplan Visualizer. So all you need to do is change the things that you want to change. For example, the passenger, the cargo, zero fuel weight, whatever you want to change, you can change. But at least you will be kickstarted in your flight planning here. And last but not least, there is a function here to open the log file. You will, in most cases, not need it, but from time to time, Flightplan Visualizer will tell you that something happened and you have to consult the log, and now you can do it quickly instead of manually browsing to the file, and you can copy it to clipboard if you want to paste it into another file or whatever you want. In an ideal world, all the airports you'll see in our sim would match the airport we see in the real world. But in reality, most of the data we see in FSX or P3D is dating back from when Microsoft made FSX. So a lot of the information in the flight simulator is outdated. So we have to live with the fact that not everything is as it should. I run with a subscription to FS Aerodata. And one thing that this subscription does is it updates all my information in the flight simulator. It updates the magnetic variation, and based on that, it changes runway numbers. Airports will have new ICAO codes and so on. So this is one reason that in my personal installation that some of the data that are in the flight plans does not match what I have in my scenery. Let's have a look at this Edelweiss flight plan. As you can see, the Edelweiss flight plan, as many other flight plans, are referencing Pristina Airport as LYPR, but in Flight Simulator there is no airport called LYPR. Instead, you have a BKPR. So for that reason, the data files I supply with the program, I have made a redirection. And that redirection is available in this form that was added in the previous version. Here there is the redirection saying all flight plans referencing LYPR should be changed to BKPR. And this happens automatically when you import a flight plan. You will simply be told that that this is the case, that it has redirected the flight. If I choose to import, it's summer 18. Let me scroll to find Edelweiss. Here it is. When I import this flight plan, I'm told that it has automatic redirected according to that screen we saw before. I will not save this flight plan as I already have it. This is an automatic redirection. It's done automatic on import, but you can do a manual redirection. You should not do it in this case, but let's do it just to see how it works. We have some flight into Düsseldorf. And if I for some reason want to change it to Hamburg, I can do so. And I'm told now that this is a manual redirection. I did it manually. When you do a redirection like this, or for that matter, an automatic redirection, it will change all these legs of the flight. For example, this one, it's automatic redirected from LYPR to BKPR. So that's what it says here. But when you redirect, the flight times will not be changed. So you should only redirect, like in this case, where it's actually two airports at the same location, one that exists in the flight simulator and one that does not. I can choose to restore this, and I'm told what it did. It redirected it reverted this redirection from EDDL to EDDH. And because EDDH was not part of the airports before, it had been removed. So when I return to this, I have EDDL back. And if I go to the legs and look for EDDL, it will be EDDL instead of EDDH. So this is how you can do manual redirections. You can redirect this single airport to another one. You can restore all automatic or manual, or simply restore all redirections if you want. But let's have a look at the report before we start to redirect anything. Here in this menu items, we open this redirection form. This redirection form was introduced in version 1.11. But as a new feature, we can generate a report. It takes a few seconds. I can see the report here by simply copy it to the clipboard and close the window. And I bring in my text editor. So hopefully we can see at the same time. In this report, I try to give you as much information as you need to do qualified estimate of which redirections you want and which one you don't want. In this case, with this airport AGAR, the line above the dashed line up here, it tells the airport that is currently in use in Flightplan Visualizer. And we can see that's marked by an asterisk, and as displayed here in this line. An asterisk is the Cerdo airport, and it also tells us here that it's a non-flight simulator airport. However, the data files I supply with the program We know the GPS position, we know the time zone, we know the country, the name of the airport, and the city. However, even though we have all these information, it does not change the fact that this is a pseudo airport, meaning that this airport does not exist in our flight simulator. So there is no airfield, there's no runways we can take off from, so we are not able to reproduce this flight. But in this case, there's not much we can do about it, as there's no alternatives. Had there been any nearby airports, they will be listed here. So this is the flight plan that flies to this airport, but we cannot do much about it. And these lines are the same problem. It's flight plans going to an airport that we don't have in our flight simulator. So I simply remove them from the report because I cannot do anything about it. All these lines tell us that all the flight plans that were referencing LYPR have been redirected, as shown by the direction of this arrow, from LYPR to BKPR. And these are suffixed with 2 asterisks, and it tells us that 2 asterisks, it's a pseudo airport that's not currently in use. Because we redirected all flights to BKPR instead of LYPR, LYPR is not active as a pseudo airport in Flightplan Visualizer. Also, we can see here the distance from the GPS positions from each flight plan is a distance of 0.0 nautical miles from the airport that's active in the Flightplan Visualizer. There's no asterisks here, and we are told that this is a flight simulator airport. And then in the end of the line, we can see that this airport is classified as a small airport. It has 2 runways. We see the length of the longest runway. We see the number of gates, and we see the frequency, number of frequencies that's available for this airport. 2 runways is naturally the same physical runway, but 2 different directions. And this is an active redirection, and it's just like we wanted, so nothing to change here. We want to keep this redirect. This one is a result of me running with FS error data. There is an active redirection, we can see it here, from CRL4 to CFR4. This one is a pseudo airport, and because I run with FS error data, the one I redirect to is also a pseudo airport. Instead, I want to actually use this airport here, because for this airport, I want to have I have 2 small. It's classified as a small airport. It has 2 runways and 2 frequencies. There's no gates at this airport, but still, at least we have a runway. We can land here. So, based on this information, in my installation, personal installation, I would remove this line. Because I actually don't want it to redirect. I want to use this airport. As you can see here, it is in fact a flight simulator airport. We have all the data we need for it. So I'm going to remove this redirection. Let's scroll down. And this is the same thing. The default file I supply with the program, redirect from this airport to this airport. But thanks to me running FS error data, I actually have this airport, so I want to remove this redirection. So I will delete it from up here. This one is the same issue, that DN0C is redirected to DN52, and it should be a DNIM instead. So what I can do is, I don't have to delete it and add it. I could say DN 0C, and I will want to read to DNIM, and I'm told I have it already, and it asks if I want to update it. So now it's changed instead. Here we have a redirection from EMBM into EBBR, and it's just like we wanted because we don't have this airport. It's not listed here among the nearby airports. So based on this, we'll not change anything. I will quickly scroll down to this one. You will not see Johannesburg in default prepared have the ICAO code FAJS, but in real world it's FAOR. And again, thanks to me running with FS error data, my Johannesburg in Flight Simulator have been changed to FOAR. So for me, I want to add a redirection, FAJS, FAOR. And I'm adding this. Me updating all these things will not change anything to the flight plans as of yet. I will, in the next part of this video, I will show how you're going to re-import or reprocess all flight plans according to this new list. I will not show you how I edit all the lists, but basically what you want to do is to generate the report and go through it like I did here and find out which one you need to update, which one you need to add, and which one you need to delete so it matches your installed scenery. Remember, once you have made any changes here, to press OK to save it. But I will now go through this entire redirection list based on this report and edit it. And as I said before, in the next part of the video, I'll show how you reprocess all flight plans. At this time, I have gone through the report and I set all my automatic redirection according to that report. So I click OK to save it. And I go to the flight plan menu and choose the new menu item, Reprocess Airport Redirects. Here in the left side, I can choose which flight plans to reprocess. By default, they're all selected. And in the right side, I have some criteria. The first one is aircraft redirection. We go choose to edit this Edelweiss. Like you can redirect the airport, you can also change the airplanes. If for some reason you want this one to be another aircraft, you can change the type. And it will be changed. This is the name of the aircraft lifted from the flight plan file, and from that name, Flightplan Visualizer will try to work out the aircraft type, and it does a good job. But if for some reason you want to change it, you can do it here. In this case, I don't want to change it, so I can choose to simply not save it. But otherwise, if I choose redetect, it will try to work out the aircraft type, and it say it's changed from this type to this type. based on the text. So now it's reverted back. This I have done here manually for one aircraft, but when you reprocess the aircraft type, you can do it for all of them. So for all of these flight plans, if for some reason an aircraft will be redetected as something else, I can control it here. I can choose to redetect only those that was automatically assigned, and that means they were assigned during import. Like I just showed with Edelweiss, you can also do a manual change, and we can choose here to only change those aircraft that was manually assigned. But in this case, I want to choose all of them, no matter if they're automatic or manually assigned. When it comes to the airports, it's a two-step process. First, I'm going to restore any current redirections. And I know I have no manual redirection. I only have those that are automatic. So I want to restore all redirections. It means that flight plans that before was redirected from LYPR to BKPR, it will now be reverted back to LYPR. It's because I want to revert back before I do my redirections again. So I choose to restore all. And of course, I want to perform all my automatic redirections. When I choose automatic, it will choose the redirection from the form I showed before. But I can also choose a manual, and then I can enter them here, and they will be listed as manual, but I want to do the automatic. When I press this button, it will start to process all flight plans according to these criteria. And there's no way to revert back to what it was. So before we start this process, we can do a backup if we want to. I have a backup already, but you can use enable, disable flight plans form for this purpose. If you go to the help menu and find the menu for showing the video for what changed in version 1.11, you can see how to use that form, and you can use it to do a backup. But I simply hit the process button, and it goes through all the flight plans and tell me what was changed here. I get a full report. I simply cut it to the clipboard. And I close this form, and I close this one, and it will reload all flight plans. While it's doing that, I can paste the report to this window. And here we can see what was changed during the process. For example, this flight plan, because I did a restore of the redirections, it tells me that redirection that was from LYPR to BKPR have been reverted. And since no other legs was referenced in this airport, it was removed. Then it did all the redirections, and it redirected again from LYPR to BKPR. So basically nothing have changed for this flight plan. It reverted back, and it did the redirect again. But for some flight plans, it will be a different matter. You can go through this report, or you can simply scroll to the button, and you can see here was the redirect that was reverted and what was redirected afterwards. And you can see more. So obviously something changed to my flight plans based on the settings I did. And it tells how many flight plans it went through and how many of those were updated and the time it took. So that's basically how you use the new feature. You should not build the report or do the redirection until you have updated your scenery. You should look the other video I made here in the menu. If you go to video, I have recorded this video that shows you how you can update the data regarding airports in Flightplan Visualizer using Make Runways. So before you start to change your redirections or your reprocess flight plans, the first step should be to make runways and update the data in the flight simulator. So that's how you do it.